after 4 sessions, and oh, the purple and the blue is alpha waves. It's that calm, like it's sort of a meditative, calm state where it's best for learning and for connecting and relating to people. So this is after 4 sessions, after 8 and after 12. Now you can't see this, but this is mostly purple and blue. Okay, so there's almost no pink, hot, this is a brain on fire, the hot pink and the red. And this is the person who's in fight or flight, creating stress hormones, flooding their body and their brain. And this is the person that's flooding their body and their brain with happy hormones. And they can have more whole brain processing. So they make better decisions, and their life gets better. And they have a higher level of consciousness, to walk through their day, their week, their month, their life. So EFT, when I first was here in 2007, there was very little science. I just knew it worked because I had just come from Italy. I had met this British therapist there. I always try whatever's new on myself. I'm the guinea pig. She said, oh, well, have you heard of EFT? I said, nope. She goes, well, it works on physical and emotional issues. And I said, oh, you know what? I have a frozen shoulder. I haven't been able to raise my arm past here without like this nerve stabbing sharp pain. I have been to physical therapy for about, I think, almost a year, and I got about that much more range of motion. So I'll try it. You know, I didn't believe it was going to work or not. I put my arm to right about here, started tapping. After about 5 minutes, my arm just started going up. It was almost like, you know, it wasn't connecting me. I was like, ooh, that's interesting. I just kept going. I kept going. After about 20 minutes, it was above my head. I went, okay, this is really interesting. I mean, it's a big deal not to be able to raise your arm for like a year, right? And I know because of John Sarno's work in New York, this doctor did all these studies on, he took 10 people, let's say, that have the same injury in their back. Their back looks exactly the same on an MRI, but there are completely different levels of disability or pain. And he's like, why is that if they have the same injury? It's because your emotions also tend to get stuck in muscular patterns in our body. So depending on how tight the musculature was around that injury, that determined the level of disability and the level of pain. And when he cleared the people of their emotional issue, their back got better. So I had something stuck in my arm, and I didn't even have to know what it was. It cleared. Whatever it was, I don't care. I just, you know, all we care is that your arm works, right? So you don't even have to know always what the real issue is. You just be zeroed in on the symptom. That's sort of the key to making EFT really successful, is zeroing in on the symptom. And as long as you're in touch with what's bothering you and you're focused in on that, it'll start to move. The energy will start to clear. EFT is based on Chinese medicine. And for 5,000 years, they've been saying we have this meridian system that flows through our bodies the same way blood carries arteries. And how you access it is through these acupressure points. Okay? So these acupressure points are more electrically conductive. They can tell a galvanic skin responder, and than other areas of your skin. So it's like accessing the meridians through the walls. It's like accessing through the light socket the electricity in the walls. And that's basically what the acupressure points are and how they access the meridians. And they validated scientifically we have these meridians because they injected radioactive dye and it mapped out this meridian system. So basically, they can get blocked, they can get congested, they can cause physical and emotional issues. So if you lived in ancient China, you paid the doctor to keep you healthy because he kept everything flowing. As soon as you got sick, you did not pay him a dime. He had to come fix your energy so that you could do better. Because if you think about it, we are energetic beings. Our heart is electromagnetic. Our brain is electromagnetic. Our immune system is, if it's working, functioning, your white blood cells are zippity zapping, cancer cells, fungus, whatever's not supposed to be there. So basically, Ed Skilling from the Institute of Electromagnetic Technology, I like his saying. He said, the only known cure for any health issue is your God-given immune system. You just have to figure out how to communicate with it. And I think this is probably, in 30 years of doing practice, this is probably the best and the fastest way to communicate with your immune system and your subconscious mind, okay? So, let's go over the points, the tapping points. This is my little tapping stud. Take out your tappers. See 2 fingers right here. You have them in your pocket. There you go. The first point is right here above the eyebrow. You just tap enough to feel it. You're not going to put a dent in your head, and then side of the eye, right where that bone is on the side. Under the eye, right where the bone is underneath your eye. Under the nose. Under the bottom lip, right below the lip, where that indent is. And then collarbone point. The collarbone point is right on, you see where your collarbone sticks out right there? If you put your fingers there and let them slide right underneath, there's an indentation right underneath. That's the point. Okay, that's the collarbone point. Under the arm. So right under the arm where your bra strap is. Pop, 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 pop. Well, when I teach kids, I go, this is the monkey. And then side of the hand. That's the karate chop point. And you can be either hand, because you have the meridians on both sides of your body. And then top of the head. So this is the monkey, there you go. So those are the shortcut tapping points. And so now we're going to go to, these are the tips for just how to be most successful with your EFT. People get so stuck on, I'm worried I'm not saying the right thing, I'm not doing it perfectly. Don't worry about it. It's kind of hard to mess it up. As long as you're somewhere in the area and you're thinking about the problem, it'll shift you. So, but how you are most successful, we're going to try to practice today so you get the hang of it. So it's identify what the trigger is, what's the target, what are you intending to change? Get clear on your intention, okay? Try to be as specific as possible. What are you aiming at? I'm like, the pain in my arm, you know? And then we start at the karate chop point, or right here, 3 inches down from your collarbone, 3 inches towards your shoulder is a sore spot, we call that. And you can just rub that and say 3 times, even though I have this problem, I deeply and completely accept myself. And why do we have to say this? Because we all have a problem with ourselves for having a problem. So we can get reversed, or we can get stuck, or we have resistance to changing something. Remember, anything that's fired and wired over and over, that's in the belief system, that's in the subconscious mind, is familiar to us. It's comfortable, and it's associated with safety. So if you start to try to change that, get ready to feel uncomfortable. But you gotta keep going. Repetition is the key. So you just focus on the symptom while you're tapping on the points. And if you feel resistance, tap on that. I can tell you when people have some amazing shift in a session, and I'm like, I taught them tapping, and I see them the next week, I'm like, okay, so you've been practicing your tapping all week? No. I forgot. Why? Because that was a really big shift, and it was out of their normal habit line, and they were seeing themselves differently in a situation differently, and it got kind of uncomfortable, you know? But when you're ready to change, when you're really ready to change, you're gonna be just doing this every day. You do it every morning, or you do it every night. Just 5 minutes a day will give you healthier chemistry and hormones and more balanced immune system. So, the formula, here's the secret formula. We're gonna put this all together now, okay? So, to reprogram your subconscious mind, you've gotta alter your map of reality, and you've gotta make what's familiar unfamiliar, and what's comfortable uncomfortable. And you gotta do it with repetition. So, you use that 5% of your mind to identify the issue, which is setting the intention. So you have to be consciously intending, okay, I'm gonna change my health. I'm gonna heal this disease, whatever it is. I'm gonna change my attitude and not be angry at my mother anymore, or whatever it is. I'm gonna change some rewired, practice, rehearsed thought pattern or emotion. We can get addicted to emotions too. Like anger is full of adrenaline and intensity. Oh my God. Okay, we're getting close to the end. We're in a haunted yoga house. Okay, so you have to do something that alters your brain waves, that gets you into an altered state. That's why doing it in the morning or just before you're going to sleep is a good time. As you saw from the PET scan, because what you barely saw on the screen there was a PET scan. It was measuring the brain waves and the energy in your brain. So you can see it alters your brain waves. And you have to have the brain waves altered in order to get down below the conscious mind into where your programming is. And then you have to reprocess anything that's been traumatic or painful or extremely negative that still bothers you. Clear it with the EFT, okay? And then you want to practice the desired state. How do you want to feel? How do you want to look at that past experience? And once you've decreased the intensity or the negative emotion with the tapping, then your brain is ready to put in the positive. You can put in the desired state, the way you'd like to look at something. And then rinse, repeat. Do it over and over and over and over. Keep putting in the positive thing over and over. Keep practicing that because you know your habit minds are going to go over and over and over the negative one, right? All humans have what we call a negativity bias. You know why? We evolved from the anxious Cro-Magnon man. We didn't evolve from those happy, ancient people that were sitting there smelling flowers and looking at the view. They got eaten, right? so we all have anxious brains, and we focused on the negative, and because it had survival value, right? It's just not really working for us so well in modern life, right? That repetition thing is really key and important. You all heard of Oprah and her gratitude journal? She was onto something. Because studies show that after 8 weeks of doing the gratitude journal, pretty soon you write 5 things that you're grateful for or that you appreciate from your day that was good, and then you write it down. There's something magic about the writing of it. After 8 weeks, your brain is already starting to be rewired, and you're naturally thinking and focusing more on positive things. You're naturally thinking and reliving the positive thing from today instead of the negative one. So gratitude journal is another good way to rewire. It does take a month or two of repetition to create new neural pathways, but we can create pretty fast shifts just from our energy shifting. Energy is the fastest way to shift something. So don't wait, for something outside of you to feel better. You can't wait for a relationship to feel love. You can't wait for money to feel abundance. You can't wait for health to feel whole and healthy. You gotta imagine that what you want, what you desire is already happening and feel the emotion of that. That's the secret formula. So you gotta identify what's bothering you, you gotta alter your brain waves, and then you have to get emotionally into the desired state. Feeling abundance, feeling grateful for abundance, even though you can't pay your rent. I know it's not easy, but but you can learn how to do it. It's a skill. That's the good news. So, and it's just a repetition of it that will help you get there. So here's, see now with all our yoga mats, there's a mutiny going on here. You really can't see, but I'll tell you what it says. It says, target the symptoms, track your self-talk, identify habitual feelings, thoughts, and beliefs, your patterns of behavior. These are all ways to what do I have? What kind of programming do I have? Because we're not that aware of it a lot of the time. So ask your friends and anybody who lives with you. Choose an area of your life where you feel stuck or where you have an unfulfilled goal of success, money, relationships, or health. And ask the question, once you decide what your goal is, the thing that makes it difficult for me to reach this goal is what? That will help you get in touch with the resistance. The thing that makes us stop trying to make the change because we believe we can't change, we believe it's too hard, or it's uncomfortable. Because we don't associate it with who we identify with emotion and beliefs, and then it can feel like our identity is threatened in some ways. So that's why it takes a repetition, and you have to be able to identify any kind of feeling of identification with a habitual emotion or thought or belief. Like, we all grew up like our sibling is not. They're the smart one, I'm the goofy one, you know, everybody has a role, right? We have all these identifications and things we believe about ourselves. So just finding the target that you want to hit. And so today I want everybody to think about it, because in a minute we're going to practice so that you can think about what your target is. So I'm going to move on to the second technique I'm going to teach you guys today, which is heart coherence breathing, okay? So I want you to see this, it's so amazing. Okay, I'm going to have to show you this then. We all have an electromagnetic field that comes out around our heart. This is an actual picture. It kind of looks, it's in the shape of a torus. And basically, we have an electromagnetic field that comes out around our head because our brain is electromagnetic. And the one around our heart comes out about 7 times larger than the one around our head. So our heart is actually sending information and affecting our head more than the other way around, which was surprising to me. So basically, the electromagnetic field around your heart and your head is also affecting anybody that you're near. You know how people go, oh, they have bad energy? Well, that's why. You're actually feeling something real, okay? So what's interesting about the EMF field that comes out around your heart and your head is that if you're living in stress, then your heart is always racing a little bit. And when that happens, your heartbeat becomes more incoherent, sort of more jagged. When you're calm and you're living in safe and loved state of mind, it's coherent, it's even. And then that starts to synchronize with your brainwaves, and then your brainwaves become more coherent and even. So that's why this coherent heart and brainwave is also the key to reprogramming and changing from threat, danger to safe and loved. So placing your attention on your heart while you breathe, imagine you're breathing in and out, is just the key to that technique. And then you want to feel the feelings of love or joy or appreciation or care. Those are those elevated feelings. So that's you're sort of specific. You're really working with the subconscious and the body. So that's why the heart coherent breathing is really effective. So and then when you do that, your EMF field comes out even bigger. It gets bigger, and they can measure it. And that, as that produces a higher EMF field and coherent heart and brain wave, then your immune system works better, you have a higher sense of well-being, and every cell in your body is like emitting light and energy, and it's the state where you can most heal and restore your health. So, and you can reset traumas and betrayals and losses from your life because you're vibrating at a higher level of frequency. It's a good place to reprogram yourself because you're coming from a place of wholeness and peace and love and gratitude. I want you to see the next one too. Okay, so, you can kind of see this one, okay. So here's somebody feeling resentment, okay? And look at their heart rate. This is their heart rate. Here's somebody feeling love and appreciation. It's all even. It's what they call, this is literally what we call coherent, and then their brainwaves start to go more coherent. So it has an actual physiological correlation. I love that they can measure all this stuff. So I don't just sound like I'm full of hooey, right? I'm not just making this stuff up. This is science. This is brain and heart science. Okay. The last one I'm going to show you, to me, is one of the most amazing. There's a Russian scientist, physicist named Korotkov, and he built this camera where he can actually take a picture of everybody's energy field around their body. And it measures the amplitude of the emissions of the light and the EMF field that's coming off your body. I'm going to have to show, let's see if this works. Okay. This is literally a picture of the EMF field. Now the thing that you can't see, right here, this person is sending love to that person. And there's this rocket coming out of light, a packet of light, a photon, that is going from their heart to their heart. This is amazing. You could take a picture of this, right? And then this is a picture of them sending it back. And it's even a bigger, thicker one. I think this person loves this person more than that. But now here's the amazing thing about it. Guess how far apart they were standing?
Say that again.
Guess how far apart they were standing? A couple miles away in a different building.
Wow.
That's amazing. So that, I mean, to me, that gives us all that evidence for the fact that we really do live in a zero-point field. This is quantum physics. This looks like empty space, but we actually live in a net of interconnected energy that connects all living beings. And in that net of energy carries information, right? And light and energy. That's why you could be thinking about somebody 3,000 miles away and actually send them healing or prayers. And it actually works. It makes a difference, right? But not nearly as much of a difference as it makes when on the person doing the praying or sending the healing.
I have a question. When you say focusing on the heart, are you talking the actual organ or are you talking
I
about
am.
the heart emotions?
I'm talking about your actual heart.
The actual organ.
Yeah, your heart actually has a lot of neuronal pathways. It's sort of like, we have the enteric brain, we have a lot of neurons in our gut, and our gut actually makes a lot of serotonin and dopamine, and then we have like a heart brain. Yeah, so I am talking about that too. So, you know, this heart centered is, it's a way you can live your life, right? And I do think that if you think about it, we are basically altruistic beings. Forget survival of the fittest, because if you think about the news, why is the news negative? Because that happens a lot less than the positive stuff. You don't hear on the news, somebody was nice to their neighbor today, you know, because that's common, right? And the fact that we get a much higher benefit physically, physiologically, and health-wise when we're the ones sending love or healing or praying for someone else, I think that we are innately altruistic beings. It feels good to love or care for or give to other people. You know, there's a story about there was a kid, he was on his way home from school and he was thinking about the football game he's going to later and the party he was invited to on the weekend. And he sees this other kid with glasses and he's carrying like 10 books. And he sees some bullies come up and slap the books out of his hand and laugh at him and push him over, his glasses fall off. So this kid goes over to him and helps him pick up his books and gives him his glasses and finds out that he's actually a neighbor. So he walks him home, he helps him carry his books home, and he finds out, oh, this kid is a nice kid, and he invites him to the football game. And he invites him to the party. And then on Monday, he sees the kid walking back to school with these big, huge stack of books, and over the next few years, these boys became best friends. And the skinny kid with the glasses filled out, got a nice girlfriend, and became the valedictorian of the school. And when he went up there to give his speech, he said, you know I'm supposed to give some sort of inspirational story, but I just want to share some gratitude to my best friend. He said, I was walking home from school one day, I was new to this school, I had no friends, I didn't belong, nobody was nice to me, things were really bad at home, and I decided to kill myself. I emptied my locker, because I didn't want my mom to have to do it. And on the way home, some kids bullied me, and this other guy came up and helped me, and became my best friend. And it changed my life. And none of the people in the audience could believe, the kids just couldn't believe this really well-loved, well-liked, popular kid had such a dark moment. And so it's so important, I think, kindness, gentleness, being kind to everyone is so important. I like the saying, be kind to everyone, because we are all fighting a great battle. This life, right? It's just life. And one kind gesture can change a person's life. You never know what somebody's going through, right? So I think heart-centered breathing, EFT, all leads to heart-centered living, right? Coming from more compassion, being ready to help or heal or be there for other people. Because it creates that more whole brain processing, because it does calm everything down. You have what they call neural integration. You make more adult, rational, conscious processing decisions. You have a higher level of consciousness. That EMF field you saw that comes out, where's my little finger? This makes us more compassionate, more empathic, more able to connect and relate to people. When we're in fight or flight, we're shut down. We're more selfish and self-absorbed because we don't have time to give somebody a hug when a lion's chasing us, right? We gotta survive. So I'm giving you the challenge today to think about in 2020, if you didn't have a New Year's resolution, which all of you seemed in desperate need of one, the challenge is be happy for no reason. Don't wait for something good to happen to be happy. We're all programmed to think something outside of ourselves has to happen good for us to feel good. So you can reprogram your mind to be happy. You can think about and take charge of creating happiness, creating love, creating this emotional state of appreciation, gratitude, love, vibrating those higher frequencies by just focusing on that stuff. Relive it and focus it. The reason gratitude journal works so well is because at the end of the day, you got to relive the good things and then write them down and you're thinking about them again. So you're replaying good stuff before you're going to sleep. You know, it's that repetition of replaying all that good stuff that helps us have that more coherent heart, big EMF field, which means you're bigger hearted. And you literally are too. After we do this exercise, I'm going to walk you all through it. You're going to feel that your heart space is a little bigger. There's more blood, there's more oxygen, there's more energy flowing through your heart. Okay, so everybody set an intention. That's the first thing we do, right? We set an intention to send love or healing to somebody you love or care for. You can also send love or healing to yourself. So set that intention in whatever way you desire. And then just take a moment, go ahead and close your eyes. And when we're in a group, our energy comes together. And when it comes together, it fuels transformation. It's not 1 + 1 = 2, it's infinite. Okay, it's exponential. So our energy coming together right now, energetically just sense that we are all holding hands and connected in our desire to heal. And now I'm going to have you breathe in and out to the count of 6. You're breathing in through your nose, and you breathe out through the count of 6, as if you're breathing out through a straw. So you're breathing in through your nose, and you're breathing out through your mouth. Now as you breathe out, you're going to feel and send love or healing to someone you care for or appreciate. You're going to feel the emotion of love. Picture them. Or picture yourself healed, whole, feeling loved. Feel the compassion, the kindness, the appreciation as strongly as you can as you continue to breathe in and out to the count of 6. And you're going to focus your consciousness on your heart and imagine that you are breathing in and out through your heart space. So you're bringing your consciousness down from here into your heart space, breathing in and out through your heart. And every time you breathe out, you are sending them love, care, appreciation, compassion. And now you might even offer these words. Send the person these words. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be filled with peace and loving kindness. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be filled with peace and loving kindness. And then you might even feel and sense them sending that emotion and those words right back to you. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be filled with peace and loving kindness. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be filled with peace and loving kindness. Just feeling how the electromagnetic field around your heart has grown, broadcasting to every cell in your body and out into the space around you. More energy, blood flow, oxygen, feeling and sensing how your heart space has grown larger. From this place, I want you to just see a future version of yourself, free from a problem or from an emotion or a belief. A future self, a future version of yourself, looking back at your present self with this change already real, it's already happened. And you're so grateful for this healing, for this health, for this shift in attitude, in perception. You are full of joy, appreciation, happiness, gratitude for this shift, for this change. Looking back at your present self and sending your present self love, comfort, compassion. Sending your present self the message they have so much to look forward to. This is who you really are. This is real. And just take a moment, whatever way you can, just very gently, just easing yourself back into the room, into the present moment, bringing with you that elevated feeling, feeling and sensing how your heart space has grown larger and fuller.